Hey YouTube, it's Langster here. This week we're going to be making the Toasty Rice Balls and the Mystery Meat Sushi. On the screen you'll see the ingredients. If you're watching on the mobile you won't be able to see it because it's annotations unfortunately, so I have put the ingredients in the description below the video. Please check that out and make your notes. Before we begin, I'd like to say a quick thank you to all of you who made a comment and liked the last video and subscribed to me. Thank you so very much. It's really motivating and I promise I won't let you guys down. Now what you've all been waiting for, let's get on to the cooking. First up we're going to be doing the Toasty Rice Balls. Okay, so first we're going to cook the chicken breast. For this we want to boil it because we're going to be shredding it afterwards. So first we cut it in half to make sure it's not too big. Then we cover it in boiling water and we boil it for about 6 to 7 minutes depending on how good your cooker is really. To speed up the cooking process, just add a bit of salt to the water. And once the chicken is done, shred it with 2 forks. I really needed to put a towel underneath that. Put a towel underneath to stop the board from sliding. After you've shredded the chicken, separate it into the different bowls and start washing the rice. Now when I wash my sushi rice, I wash it 3 times with water until the water is not so murky. So what you're doing is you're washing away extra starch, which you do not want. So for me, because I'm using a rice cooker to cook the rice, it's quite simple. I just need to make sure there's a ratio of 1:1 between rice and water. Once the rice is flattened in the water, put it in the rice cooker, turn it on and let it cook. Next we're going to chop up the leek. For this we're going to dice it real small. Again, yes, it's with my meat cleaver. I love that meat cleaver. After you've done the leek, do the same with a green chilli. Next, we crush 1 clove of garlic. Take off the skin, which is easier to do after you crush it. Chop it up and do the same with a small piece of ginger. Next, we're going to toast the sesame seeds. To do this, just turn the heat really low and pour in the sesame seeds. You don't need any oil. After letting them toast for about 4 minutes, you'll notice that they're turning golden brown and they are secreting some sesame oil. Also, you'll notice a really fragrant smell coming from them. It is delicious smelling. And now to create the teriyaki sauce, just add in some soy sauce to a hot pan. Add in a splash of rice wine and also some mirin syrup. If you can't get mirin syrup, you can use white sugar. Give that a stir constantly to make sure it does not burn or stick to the bottom of the pan. Add in the ginger and some leek. Give that a good stir and pour it over one of the bowls of shredded chicken. Stir that in, add in the toasted white sesame seeds and stir that in as well. After that, let it rest. And now the rice should be cooked, so pour in the rice vinegar and give that a good stir. Let that rest for about 10 minutes, otherwise it will be too hot. Now this is me making a different sauce for a different set of chicken because I thought there was 3 rice balls, but there's actually only 2 on the picture, so I just ate it myself. So adding in all of these ingredients, I added in the chicken, gave that a good stir. This one was the miso paste in water with leek, garlic and chilli. Now to cut the seaweed, I used a pair of scissors and cut them about 1.5 to 2 inches wide. Cut out 2 whole lengths for the Mystery Meat Sushi and 2 half lengths for the rice balls. So now I'm going to demonstrate how to make a rice ball. First, you dip your hands in water to make sure the rice does not stick. Cover your hand in a thin film of salt. Grab a handful of the sushi rice and mold it into a triangular shape using your hands and an angle between your index finger and your thumb. Now this is where I would have put the seaweed on if it was the plain one, but now I'm going to demonstrate how to make the stuffed one. So use your thumb to make an indent in the sushi rice. Do not go all the way through, otherwise you'll have a hole. Now add in your choice of filling. For me it was the teriyaki chicken. Remember, do not add too much, otherwise the rice ball will pop. Now cover that filling with an extra wad of rice and remold into the triangular shape. Remember to dip your hands in water if the rice starts sticking. As you'll notice, my left hand was not dipped and you can see the rice sticking to it. After you're happy with the shape, attach the seaweed, the half strips remember, to the bottom of the rice ball. And voila, there you are. Now to prepare the luncheon meat or spam, just take it out of the can and slice it lengthwise into relatively thick slices. About 1 inch I'd say. Now add some olive oil into a saucepan, cover and heat up. Put in the luncheon meat slices. Fry these for about 4 to 6 minutes. Turn and fry the other side. Once both sides are brown and crispy, remove from the oil and drain. To make that central layer of the mystery meat sushi, crack an egg into a bowl. Now you don't need to add any salt or anything because the luncheon meat will be salty enough. Whip up the egg. Put an omelette pan on low heat, really low. This is 3 out of 9 for an electric cooker. Add in some olive oil and make sure the entire surface is coated, and gently pour in the egg to form a thin layer over the oil. Now try and cover the bottom of the pan with the egg and let that cook for about 3 minutes. After about 3 minutes, gently, very carefully flip it. And cook the other side for about 1 minute. After that has cooled to a comfortable temperature for your hands, you can remove it and start constructing the mystery meat sushi. As you can see, I am trimming the egg so that it can fit to the size of the mystery meat sushi. Now at this point, your kitchen will be smelling so nice because of all the cooked meat smells and the fried egg smells. I had a very hard time trying not to eat the food as I was making it. Now we use the same techniques as we did with the rice ball, but this time we shape it into a rectangular cuboid shape. As you can see, I'm using my knife to mold it, to shape it, because I do not have a rectangular mold. After you're happy with the shape, add the egg and the luncheon meat on top. Now insert one end of the long strip of seaweed and wrap it all the way round. Do the same for the other one, and there you are. You have 2 mystery meat sushis. Aren't they beautiful? Remember to always wash your chopping boards in between each step if you're using the same chopping board to avoid the spread of bacteria or diseases. Now prepare your eyes because these look absolutely gorgeous. Right, so shall we try out these beautiful dishes? The first one I made was the Toasty Rice Balls, and the second one is the Mystery Meat Sushi. So the toasted rice balls are a default dish from Ignis from day one. He doesn't really require anything for it, which I find quite surprising considering there's rice, the seaweed, possibly filling. So the second one, the Mystery Meat Sushi, is something that Ignis learns after buying Luncheon Meat, which you can purchase from some shops around the place. So like I said on the video earlier when I was cooking, these toasted rice balls may or may not have contained anything in the game, but I created one which was pure plain rice, salted rice, which is actually quite tasty, and one with filling, which is a teriyaki chicken filling. In the olden days, samurais in Japan used to eat these before they go into battle, so they must be quite nourishing. And also, they always said, if the rice is good enough, then you don't need any filling, because the rice itself is a pleasure to eat. So for this one, this first one here is a plain one, this one is the more meaty one. So I'm going to go ahead and try the toasted or toasty rice balls. Firstly, I'm going to try the plain one. Isn't that beautiful though, I must say? Gorgeous. So this is really delicious because the rice is really springy. It's not chewy as such, but it's got a texture to it. And also because it's slightly salty, it's got this very savoury kind of taste to it. And also because of the addition of the rice vinegar, you have this very nice little sour undertone, but not too sour. You know, it's not like sickly sour, it's a delicious kind of sour. I could eat that all day. It's really delicious. Very appetizing actually. So the first one was really delicious. The saltiness and the sour and the sweet, oh, it was perfect. But this second one is going to have a chicken teriyaki filling. So let's give this a go. Oh, the flavour of the meat. So that's the toasted rice balls or toasty rice balls gone. They were delicious. Remember that because we don't actually know what's inside them in the game, I decided to do one with filling and without. I would totally recommend the one without. It is gorgeous. And the one with, it was really nice as well. The chicken, it gave the rice ball an extra kick of flavour, especially with the added ginger and garlic. Delicious. So the second one is, ta-da, the most beautiful thing in the world, the, what's it called? The Mystery Meat Sushi. So, interesting fact, I actually burnt myself cooking the spam. So this may actually have a lot more mystery meat than it began. So, to try it out, I'm going to get the big chunky one. This is absolutely massive. You may not be able to see it, but this is huge. This is a really, really big piece. So here we go. Oh, that is amazing. So the spam naturally has that salty flavour and it is gorgeous. And then when you reach the egg part, you get this subtle sweetness just coming through from the egg. It is delicious. Absolutely amazing, this one. This is definitely comfort food, although it is starting to fall apart in my hands. Maybe I should have used a chopstick. I must admit, after trying both of them, the toasty rice balls and this mystery meat sushi, I would say this one is definitely the winner. It's got everything. It's got the meaty flavours, it's got salt, it's got the sugary sweetness of the egg, which by the way I didn't put any sugar in. It's got the nice little seaweed taste. I don't know what you call that actually. Is it umami? Or was it seafoody? Anyway, and then you've got the rice, got that sweetness. Oh, It is beautiful. So in terms of size, these are actually really big. I mean, it's almost the size of my palm, and I do have small hands, but it is really big. And I must say, after having 2 toasty rice balls and one of these, I am already full. Remember, when you're making these, when you're putting it together, the rice should still be warm, the meat and egg should still be warm, not cold or boiling hot. Don't burn your hands or anything, like I did. This is a really beautiful dish. It's simple to make, all the ingredients are easy to buy, and at the very end of the day, I think it's actually quite healthy. I mean, it's got a nice balance. I mean, the meat's not that big a piece. You've got the carbs, the protein, the sugars, the salt, you've got everything in here. I think it's a complete meal. But after saying that, I don't have any more space, unfortunately, because it is absolutely delicious. So I'm not too sure, but I think this is the only dish in the game which uses luncheon meat. I'm gonna have to check on that, but I think this is the only one. Okay, so that marks the end of this video, which is episode 2 of Cooking Final Fantasy Foods. Yay! If you want to request me to cook any of the dishes from Final Fantasy 15, do put a comment down below. Otherwise, I will decide on one myself for next week. That's right, you heard me, 1 week. So I was initially going to be posting once every 2 weeks because I didn't think anyone was going to watch. But with the kind comments, thank you. It was really touching. It gave me some motivation to post these videos more often, if you enjoy it. So please do let me know if you enjoy it, because it will motivate me. It will add oil to the fire, which is a good fire, not a dangerous one. So please, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, and I will make sure to keep dishing these out. So that's all from me this time. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.